Hey all, Satish here. Today let's see how to use EC20 to send and receive SMS. Then we will send some data to our server which I had set up earlier using get command and post command. And after that let's see how to use MQTT on this one. So with using MQTT we will subscribe and publish to a topic using Tortoise MQTT broker. Okay, let's start off. This is the hardware that I am using. Not exactly the same, something similar to this. It's a development board for EC20. It's not only EC20, you can use it for EC25, EC200. I think it can be used for everything with EC2 series. So I am currently using EC20. I'm communicating to this board using USB to UART converter. So this is I've connected at 115200 baud rate, no parity, 8 bits and 1 stop bit, 8 data bits and 1 stop bit. These are the documents that you will be needing to use this or to refer to all the commands that I'm going to be using. I'll share the Dropbox link of everything here. The AT command file is a file where I have made a complete log of all the AT commands. We'll go through it one by one, and you will need a hardware design document. So this is to be used as a reference document, like what should be the power supply rating, how to reset the processor, which are the TX and RX pins. So everything is given in this document. Then after that you will need AT command manual. So this will have all the AT commands. Then HTTP AT command. This document will show you how to use the get request and post request. So it is here how to use HTTP post request and get request. Both of them are here. And then finally there is an MQTT document. How to use this module for MQTT protocol. Okay, let's start off with the basics. The first thing, as always, you have to check for AT. So the command is AT. So I have entered the command here. So here it is just a label, it doesn't mean anything. Here I will enter the command. Following that you have to do control and enter. So basically in hex what it comes is 0, it's a carriage return. So for all these modules, for AT command it has to respond okay. If it is responding okay, it means you have established communication with the modem. If it doesn't respond, there are multiple things which can go wrong. One is the processor is not powered on, or the processor is in the reset state. Then you have to reset the processor once again. That will be done using power key. You can go through the hardware manual to see how it is done. Or there is your TX and RX pin are not connected properly. Or it could be the baud rate. So this one by default comes at 115200. So once you get this response, then you can continue with this. Okay, the next one is CME, that is the error mode enable. So if you come to our AT command manual, I think, yeah, you search for this here, error message format. So it will set up, it will tell you in what format you want the error message. So we are going to use one, enable error codes, enable result code, and use numeric values. For example, if a error code is in numerical value, it will give you something like this, CME error 10. So 10, if you go down, there is a section where you can see all the error codes. So you want to enable that, so that during execution of any command, if you get an error, you will get an error code and you can debug what is the issue. So for that I will do AT plus CME equal to 1 followed by carriage return. And I am doing, instead of 0D, I am doing control enter. That will automatically give 0D. Okay, you have enabled the error code. So in this log is nothing but whatever it is responding. Then it is the IMEI number. So this will give you an IMEI number. IMEI number is unique for every modem. So it's a 15-digit number. So this is the IMEI number for this modem. So if you want to see the command, you can go to our AT reference menu, and the command which we received was GSM. Yeah, this is the command which we use, and it will give a 15-digit IMEI number. Then next one is we have to check if the SIM is, we have inserted the SIM or not. So in Doclite, since it's a free version, I cannot save the project, else I could have given you a save project. So 80 plus is required. CPIN error question mark is also there. Ready. CPIN ready. It means that a SIM has been inserted. If the SIM is not inserted, it will give you an error here. So then we have to check if it is registered to the network. Zero comma 1. So 0, 1 means you are connected to the local network. Suppose you go out of state, and if you are in roaming, it will give you 0, 5. So if you want to check this, you can come here and check for the command creg. Network registration, and you can see 0, 1 registered to home network, 5 is registered and roaming. If you get anything else, it is not working. So once you have connected to the network, then you can proceed. Else you have to make sure that you have inserted the SIM properly and you are in a good network area. After that, you can continue. If you fail at this point, there is no point of continuing further. After that, we have there's something for signal strength. We had used it in our SIM 800C. Let me just take that. Signal 80 plus CSQ should give signal strength. So it can be used here also. Let's issue this command. So it should give you what is the signal strength. Currently it is 12. I have not connected an antenna to this, so it is low. But this is more than enough for it to connect to the web. The network here is pretty good. So you can see 80 plus CSQ, what is the possible response and what does it mean. You can always go here and check the AT command manual. So this will show what is the signal strength in dB. After that, it is the next command we will try out is, okay, now you have connected to the network and you have pretty good signal strength. So now let's go into the SMS section. So in this modem, what will happen is the SMS by default is not on the UART port you are communicating. Basically, you can send an SMS where if it receives an SMS, the alert does not come to the UART port directly. It goes to the, I think, the USB or some port on the modem. For that, you have to first tell that send the SMS alert to UART1. That is what we are going to do here. Else what will happen is if any SMS comes, you will not get on this port, because we are using this UART1 port for to connect to our microcontroller, which we will be using in our IoT devices. So you have to specify for this modem. For example, SIMCOM, the last one that we did was SIM800, it was always coming to the UART port. Here I think it is going into some USB port or something else. So you have to specify that, telling that send it to the UART port. So this is the command. So basically what you are telling is send it to UART1. So only after this will you get SMS reception in this over this port. If you don't do this section, you will not get an alert for SMS reception. Okay, after that you have to set up which mode you want in. There are a couple of modes which they provide. We want it in the text mode. So this is the command. For that, let's check that. Message format, we will use the text mode. The command for that is AT plus CMGF is equal to 1. You should get an OK for this. Okay. So after that, you have to specify to which mobile number you are going to send an SMS. So the command for that is AT plus CMGS. So these commands are standard across all modems. The SMS commands. So please use your mobile number instead of mine, because I will be getting the SMS. So after that, you have to get this greater than symbol. Only after that you have to send the message. So EC20, and you have to terminate with 1A. This is very important. If you don't terminate with 1A, it will be waiting for this 1A. So whatever you send, it will assume that it is part of the SMS and continue. Okay, so the 1A is very important. So I've sent this. Yeah, I have received the SMS on my phone. So that is how you send the SMS. So now let's get into the reception of SMS. Again, you have to enable this to get the reception over this UART port. So after this, so when it gets once you have set up with this command which we set up, then any SMS which will be received by the module, it will give an alert on this UART port. So I have just sent the message. So see, you got this, no? ME,1. So this number 1 is important here. So basically what it means is you have received a message and it is in memory location 1. So you have to read the message, you have to use this as the reference. So for that, what you have to do here is, so here I have given 3 because when I was doing it the first time, it was 3. So you have to give 1. I copy this. 1. So received your message. So the next message which I send, it will come to memory location 2. So at that point, if you read 1, you will keep getting this. So let me message number 2. I've sent another message. See, last time we got 1, this time we got 2. To read now, if you read 1, you will get the old message only, received your message. If you want the newer message, you have to do 2. Then you will see message number 2. So that way, once you get the SMS, you have to see what is the message number. This it can go to double digit also. Then you will have to send. If it becomes 10, you have to send 80 plus CMGR is equal to 10 to read the 10th message. Now, what we have, it's a good practice to delete off the SMS once you have read this. The delete this is the delete command. If you go and check out what is the command here, delete SMS. So we are using 4, delete all messages from memory. So this is the command 1, 4. You can go through this manual, what is 1 and what is 4. 1 is the memory location and the index. So from memory location 1, delete all the SMS. That is what we are going to do. So it should give OK. So the next message, if you get, so we have used message 2 is there. So if I send back one more message, I have to, it should come back to location 0. So that is the first message location. So now if I want to send 0, I just send a message hi. Yeah, hi message has come. So the next thing is the clock. So this inbuilt has a clock function. So if your microcontroller does not have a clock, then you can use the inbuilt clock inside this. But the only issue with this EC20 or EC200 is it does not have an RTC backup. Means if the power goes away, it will lose its time. So then there is another option which they are given, that is this command will sync to the network time. Let's just check if this command is available. Automatic time zone update. So once you give this one, what will happen is this module will automatically sync to the network time. But the only issue is that it is not guaranteed that it will sync to the network time. Sometimes it will immediately sync, sometimes it will take some time and sync. So this is the command. So it will give OK, and to read the time you have to do this. Read clock. So it has not yet synced to the network time. So after some time it will sync to the network time. At that time, if you read the clock, you will get the correct date and time. So currently it has not got the network time. It will take some time. Sometimes it is very instantaneous and sometimes it will take some time. Okay, let's try this command later once again to see if it has synced to the network time. And there's an option of where you can write the time and it will increment with that time. So you can go through the manual and see how you can do that. So if you just check the command, it is cclk. Write command time. The format is, this is the format: year, month, date, comma, hours, minutes, second, and the offset. So offset, how it goes is, if you, for example, it is 1, 0, 1, it means it is a 15 minutes offset. 0, 2 is a 30-minute offset. So it goes like that. So for example, India has a offset of, I think, 5.5 hours. So you have to, for providing 5.5 hour offset, you have to give divided by how many minutes divided by 15. So 15 minutes is one count. Okay, so that way you can set the time. Let's just see if it has synced. Not yet. Maybe once we connect to the internet it might sync. Okay, so now that's it with the time section. So the next one is to send data using the get message and the get command and the post command. If you see one of our earlier chapters that we had done, I had shown you how to set up a web service in GoDaddy using so our platform was Windows Server and we used Visual Studio. I wrote a code and uploaded that. If you are interested in that, you can go check it out. I'll leave the link in the description below. But what we had done was receive data 22.23. So this is a get request to the browser can only send the get request to insert the data, and we also so it has inserted the data. So if you want to view the data, we are also written a page called as display data. I'll give the link for both of them. So here the ID is important. So system ID, with respect to system ID 1 I have sent. So with respect to system ID 1, if I view, so 22.23, this data has been inserted into the database. So here what we are doing is, just as a briefly, we had set up a Windows server and we are using MySQL database. So as soon as you give this request, now this is a get request with system ID, sensor type and value. For example, if you want to try with sensor ID 10 and value, let me put 10 degree, it has inserted. So if you come and sort with, so in ID 1 it would not come here. If you see with ID 10, you should have inserted with value 10, and this is my IP from where it has got the insert request from. So all these things are recorded. So these things will always be live. So if you're practicing this, you can just use this URL. So this is a get request. In post request, I'll show you when you go to the post section, I'll show you how to send a post request. So post request cannot be sent on the browser. We use a separate software for that. For now, we will be doing this as a get request, and value with system ID 10 and value 10 point. Well, the temperature now is around 28. Let me put 28.2. Okay. So for that you have to prepare a few things. So these are the standard commands for that. You can go through, I think, this manual. It talks about HTTP commands, so it will tell you what this command means. So right now you are setting up the HTTP server. HTTP. This is the command. This is the first setting that we will do. You can go through the manual to know what exactly it is. I'm just showing you the sequence. So then next thing what you have to do is, this is for the reception. TP, just type it as 2. So the second configuration that we are doing, apply. Okay. So these two things you have to do. Then is you have to set your user APN. If I am using an Airtel SIM in India, the APN is airtelgprs.com. Based on which location you are, see which is the APN and set that. And the username and password are null here. Set APN username and password. Yeah, again I am doing control enter so that this 0D comes. You should never forget this. If you don't send this, it is not going to respond. So only at the end of, only after getting this itself, it will accept the command, else it will not accept the command. It is just echoing. The green is the blue is the one which you are sending, green is the response. So only after 0D will it respond. It is error because it assumes all of this as a single command. So now okay, now you have set the APN. So after you have set the APN, now you have to activate the internet. So as soon as you do this, the internet on your system, on your modem will become active. This is like setting mobile data enable on your phone. So if you have a net LED on the PCB, you can see that the blinking pattern will change. Enable internet. Again 0D. You can do 0A, 0D also. 0D, 0A. So if you see your board now, the net LED would have turned on. So now you are, after this, okay, you are connected to the internet. So once you are connected to the internet, so this is a command for getting the IP address. All these commands are available here. You can go check it out actually. It is not in this manual, sorry. It will be in the one of these manuals, it will be there. State of content. So you can browse through this manual, or you can download a manual which has this AT commands, and you should see the description of the AT command. Get IP, or rather it show IP. So this is the command. Control enter. So this is my IP address, 100.98.208.160. That is the IP address which my modem has received. Okay. So next is, now you have connected to the internet. Now you have to give the get request. So as I showed you, this is my URL. So this is the point where I am sending the request to insert. So by definition, get request is to get the data from the server. It's like a read request, and post is to insert it into the database. It's a write request. So I am just using get request also to insert the data, because it's very simple, because all the data goes as a part of a header. It is a very simple way. You can use this, it should work, but technically speaking, it should not be used to insert the data. Okay, so now to set it up, what you have to do, so this is my full request. So first you have to set up the URL. So AT HTTP URL. If you see this command, what it means here is, you have to do the URL followed by the timeout. So is equal to URL length comma timeout. So first you have to tell what is my URL length. So if you select this till the end, my URL length is 162. So I have to, for some reason I put 124. Not sure what is the reason for that. So if this is my URL, my length has to be 160 to not 124. So this is 166. So I have to do 166 here. So this is the command, and 60 is timeout for that. 166. So let's try it out what happens. Setup URL. Control enter. Okay, so I'm telling that I'm going to send the URL. So now I have to send the URL. That is from here to here. It is 129. Okay, it's an issue from my end. So the selection is 124 here. The column was 162. So it is my mistake. So let me go back to 124. Okay, so what happened was, I selected from here to here and I saw the column. So this location is 120, but actual selection is only 124. So you have to do this. Let me send, if I send this again. it is expecting the URL. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me to terminate that, you actually have to send 164 characters, else it will not terminate. So let me just send off some junk. The URL itself I am going to send couple of times. Till there it receives 164 bytes, it will not respond to anything. Anyway, it gave an error here. So let's go back to this and set this to 124. Basically what it means, the length of the URL from here to here, this carriage return is not required, is 124 by characters. That is what we are setting up here, and the timeout is 60. Apply, OK. I'm going to set up the URL and send the URL. So it is exactly 124. That is why it terminated and gave you OK. It means now I have set up the URL. I am still not connected to the server. Once I have set up the URL, I have to do this command http get. That is when it will actually ping the server. Request send to server. So now what will happen is it will send the request to the server. So it has got something that has a length of I think 194. So now it has posted, means it has sent the request to the server, and it has also got a response. It is not showing the response. To show the response, you have to give a command to read whatever is the response, and 80 is a timeout. You can go through these commands. Show response. So basically you should get a response similar to this. This is a response, this is a JSON response which we are sending back. So if I send show response, see it has received the response. So now whatever data which we sent, so here if you see the data which we sent was the temperature was 22. So if you go and the system ID was 10. So if you go and view our data which we have sent, 10, 22, it has made an entry, and this is the IP address. Okay, now if you want to send once again, you have to set up the URL, send the URL, send it to the server. It will tell that it has received a response, and if you want to see the response, you can see this. If you want to edit the data, 22. So if I cannot, if I change 22.5, then this length will become 126. Two more it will happen. So let me just put 55 here so that I don't have to change the length. Set up URL. You have to wait for connect. After that, you tell what is the URL, then send the request to the server. It has got back. You can see what is the response, and once you have seen the response, you can come here and view. So 55, it has sent, it has been inserted into the database. So that is how you send a GET request. Again, GET request is basically designed only to get some data from the server. So we are using that to insert into the server. So generally for inserting into the server, you have to use a post request. So for that, what you have to do here is, till this we get this IP, everything is the same. Okay, everything is the same. After that, it will change. So for post request, what you have to do is, basically what I meant was, you have to do all these things till you get the IP. After that, if for get request, these are the commands. For post request, the commands will change. So I have written here, for post request, what you will have to do is, first you will connect with the URL, and after that you will send the message as a body. So in get request, what happened was, the URL and the data, everything went off in the URL itself. Here first you establish a connection with the server. that is using only the URL, and after that you push the data. Okay, and there is a small, so here the page name is post request and here it is get request. If you see the tutorial of when we set it up, you will understand how to write this get request and post request. Now again you have to set the URL, but this time the URL length is not 124 because it does not have the data, it is only URL. So this is the only the URL, the length is 64. Okay, 69 is the column address, 64 is the length. For that, so let me set this for post. Okay, it is it should give you connect, then you have to send the URL. So this log file also I'll give you. It has given OK, means you have set up the URL. After that you have to tell what is my post data. So how you set the URL size, now you have to tell what is my post data size. My post data is, this is my data which I am going to transmit. The length is 62. So 62 80 comma 80, you can see what it means is, what is 80 comma 80. You can just go to the document here and just search for that. Post. So when you write, one is data length, input time and response time. So everything you are setting it up. So I have made both of them 80 seconds. So where did we stop? We have set up the URL. Next I have to tell what is my data size, my post data size, that is 62. So now after this command, it will be expecting 62 bytes of data to come. Once it gives connect, you can tell send the data. So now it has posted, it had connected to the server, you send the UPS. As soon as you send the data of length 62 bytes, it has posted it on and it also got a response, that is 196 characters it has responded back. How many characters are response? Let's just check. So this is my response. Just paste it here, you will be able to check it out. It is selected is 194. So this is 196. I think it has a carriage return or something like that. But you can see what this what is this 0, 200, 196, what it is, you can check in the manual. So now it has posted the data and it has got the response, it is not showing the response. So similarly, how we did it in get, you have to read the response that it has received. Okay. So once you have read, this is the response it has received. So we had inserted with the value of what's our value, 22.3. so here if you view, so now till now it was get, now it should have become post. See, post 22.3. so now whatever posted you have, data you have posted has been inserted into the database. So again, if you want to keep continuing this, setup post, send data, read response, you can continue, keep doing this. If there is a change in URL, again you have to set up the URL or the length, or you have to set up the URL, or else you can keep posting the data on that one. Post with the data length. Once it gives connect, post the data, read the response. Now all these things we have done 2-3 times will be inserted here. You see here it has inserted 3 posts. At what date and time it will show here. Okay. So now that's it with the get and post request. So let's see how to use EC20 for MQTT data transmission and receiver. So I had done an earlier chapter where I had used EC20 with an MQTT broker. At that time I had used this particular server, that is EMQX. So this time I will use a Mosquito broker. That's an if you go through that, it's an open source message broker service that is used for MQTT protocol. So it's open source, there is no security in this and there is no guarantee in this. So you can use it for your testing to understand how to communicate using MQTT. So please check out the chapter to understand more info on that. And I also shown how to use MQTT box. So I'll just show this example on MQTT box. So MQTT box is a Chrome plugin where you can test the MQTT operation. Okay, now I have to create an MQTT client. My client name is let me put this name itself. Client ID is a unique ID, don't worry about that. Protocol is MQTT TCP. It does not have a username and password. And the Mosquito server is, this is the server, this is the host, colon, you have to give port number is 1833, username and password is null, you save. So connected should come. Basically now the service is connected to the MQTT broker, that is on Tortoise. So now how this works is based on topics. For example, let's have a topic called as, let me use the same thing itself, topic EES. So now this is a topic for the publisher. Publisher is a transmitter and subscriber is a receiver. For example, you can have multiple publishers and multiple subscribers on the same topic. If I have subscribed to this topic, if I post anything on this topic, all the subscribers will receive hi. So now this subscriber receives. So now let's assume I have another subscriber to the same topic. If I post on this, both of them will receive. Hope you are able to understand. Now let's assume that I have another subscriber, topic name is same topic, I put 1. So if I publish here, only these two will receive, this will not receive. So if I publish on this, only this will receive. Okay, so this is a basic functionality how MQTT works. So there can be any number of publishers or any number of subscriptions. Subscribers are basically receivers and publishers are the transmitters. So in practical cases, let's assume that you have a lot of sensors and suddenly you want to take some operation on them. All of them would have subscribed to a topic. With a single publish on the topic, you can send it to all of them. Okay. So let me do something. Message from MQTT box. So let me clear it off. So topic 1. So let me publish on this topic. Topic names are important. Okay, and if you go to settings, this is your connection ID. So you have connected with this ID. For example, if somebody else gets connected with the same ID, then what will happen? You will be knocked down. Okay, so now this is giving a very random number, so it will never happen that somebody will connect with the same connection ID. So if I subscribe, if I publish, both of them have received because they are connected to this topic. This does not receive, because it is not connected to the topic. It has topic EES1. Okay, now this is the basic functionality. Now let's see how we can do it on EC20. So first thing what you have to do is you have to open the connection to the server. Apply. Okay, but make sure that you are connected to the server. I'll open the connection. So 0, 0. After that, so you can go and check what these commands are and what is the response which you are expecting in the manual. MQTT open. Go to the MQTT manual. CME error 0 means network opened successfully. And what is the response you got? MQTT open 0, 0. So what you are doing, open a network for MQTT client. So this is still opened a network on the modem itself. It is still not connected to the MQTT client. The next command will connect to the broker, MQTT broker. Okay, so if you come here, basically this is connection 0. Means you can have multiple connections in the same modem. I think you can have up to 5 connections, I think. MQTT identifier client 0 to 5. You can have 5, you can connect to 5 different MQTT brokers. So that ID is 0. With the 0th connection, I'm using to connect to this. Then to open the connection, what you have to do here is, so below are all the commands, 4 commands that you need. Once you have opened the connection, basically you are still in the modem, you are not sent. After that, you have to use the credentials. So this is the connection string. As I told you, this connection string is unique. It should be unique. EC20 con EES, the exploding embedded system. So let's assume that I have also connected using this, and you also for some reason connect with the same connection ID. I will be knocked off. The latest one will be stayed. So make sure that you don't use the same connection ID. Use something else, so that if somebody else is also simultaneously trying, broker, then you don't get knocked off. So it gave an error because it has status has become 0 1. You lost the connection. So you have to retry again. It should come 0 0, then connect. So now you have connected to the server. You can see what the 0, 0 is in the manual here. They will give a deep explanation of what it is. So basically 0 0 0 means you are connected to the server. Your credentials are right and your password is here. We don't have any credentials. Again, just repeating, this should be a unique ID. Okay. Else what will happen is, if somebody also tries to connect with EC20, if they come later, if you are connected earlier, you will be knocked off. Okay, for example, when you are doing, don't use this connection, because if somebody else is using, you can give your name itself, it doesn't matter. Okay, but the name also is a bit difficult, because somebody else with the same name, if they have connected, it becomes a problem. So generally what I do is I use a modem IMEI number itself. So as we know that the modem IMEI number is a 15-digit number which will never repeat. So generally I use that. So in your case it is up to you, can use anything. Okay, now you have connected to the server. Then now you have to subscribe to a topic. So I am going to subscribe to this topic EES. Subscribe to topic. Okay, now we have subscribed to this topic. So basically now what you happen, so now if you publish this message should also come here. You see, it has received a message on this topic telling that message from MQTT box. You got it? So it was very easy. So if I send it again, it should come here. See, it has come here. Again, let me do message 3 so we don't get confused. See, message 3 has come. Since you have subscribed to that topic, you are getting message. So any number of devices which are subscribed to this topic will get the message. That's the beauty of this MQTT. So if you had to do this in our using our HTTP protocol, there's a lot of things which you have to set up. But if you are using this MQTT, all these things are done by the broker itself. You have to just connect to that. That's it. So now I am using a free MQTT, Mosquito MQTT, and earlier I had used this also. You can use this server. It's a paid server. They have a free trial for certain duration of time. Okay, then you're subscribed to a topic. Now let's see how you can publish to a topic. Again, to publish to the topic, you have to publish on a topic, on this topic. See, you can be subscribed to the same topic and also publish on also same topic. So once you get this symbol, now you have to write what is the command. Message from EC20, you have to terminate with 1A, or else it doesn't know where is the termination. So once you terminate with 1A, message from EC20, you have sent here. Because you are subscribed to the same topic, you have received the message from EC20, and here also, and in our MQTT box also, this would have also received message from EC20. Now if you want to publish on this topic ES1, what you have to do here is, we have to publish to the topic ES1, control enter, again that's it, 0D. That is important, don't miss that. You are going to publish on that and the message. Now this won't receive because this is not subscribed to this topic 1. It is only subscribed to topic EES. But we had done one here, if you remember. See, it has come here. So that is how MQTT works. Okay, that's how you can implement MQTT on EC20. So now that's it. So now we check the modem, SMS transmission and reception, HTTP get and post request, and MQTT. So these are all the things that is required for an IoT kind of a device. Hope you are able to follow that.